Hey, I'm Videobob, and I'm back with my 2004 Rolls Royce Phantom that I picked up for only $65,000, making it one of the cheapest Rolls Royces available in the country that wasn't wrecked, wasn't a salvage title. And, you can see in this video, I'm just wearing a nice regular sport jacket and some regular black, they're not regular pants, but at least they're just black. I got so much grief in my last video. People making fun of my Robbins jeans pants that I like to wear that are red and black because I love red and black. People making fun of my beard, saying that I look like Fat Joe. I have no idea who that is. I don't know why he's fat, but his name is Joe. People also referencing that I made reference to Doug DeMuro, Tavarish, and Hoovy, who commented on the video, which was so much fun. We talked about the fact that it's a silver car and it's been wrapped black and white. We talked about the 24-inch aftermarket wheels that are on there. Talked about that it's got a couple of engine leaks. And here's something that really blew my mind. I opened the umbrella on the car and I said, I've watched a lot of videos out there and I haven't seen anybody open the umbrella on the car. And I had 50 million comments about producer Michael Blakey opening his umbrella on his Rolls-Royce Dawn. Well, if you go back and watch his video, you'll see he never actually opens the umbrella. He just sort of flops it open. So at that time, I hadn't seen anybody fully open the umbrella on any video. I opened the umbrella. Who gives a crap? Let's stop talking about it, and let's stop talking about my pants. So I'm going to wear just a regular old jacket so as not to distract from the video, because, hey, it's all about the car. It's not about me. Now, I think it's really important that we talk about the size of this car, as I did in the previous video. This thing is huge. It's 19.5 feet long. It's 6.5 feet wide. It's almost as tall as I am, and I look small next to this car. I'm 6'2". I weigh 235 pounds, and standing next to this behemoth, I look tiny. The car is so big, in fact, people were actually asking me if this was a green screen effect, because I look like a little kid standing in front of the car. Like I said, I'm 6'2". I'm a big guy. It's amazing how big this car is when you think about comparing it to other vehicles. It's basically the size of a full-size truck. It's bigger than an Excursion. It's a big car. But seriously, folks, there was so much made about the umbrella and how I had said nobody had ever opened it. Well, when producer Michael Blakey was making his video, he couldn't figure out how to open this thing, and he just kind of flopped it open, and he didn't actually extend it all the way like that. I haven't seen too many videos that have. There are some out there, but just not a lot. Now, for those of you who are wondering, I did finally get the umbrella for the other side, so now I have a matching set. Get this thing all nice and wrapped up. Now, I'm a fan of producer Michael. I love watching his videos, and so if you're watching out there, Michael, this is how you operate the umbrella. And I didn't even need to call tech support. So yes, I did get the other umbrella for this side, but we fixed a few other things too. I also got this chrome trim ring for the headlight here, and I've ordered the lens that goes here to fix this chip. Now, something that I discovered about the Rolls Royce Phantom is I kept calling these things the fog lights. Actually, these are the headlights, the round lights, and they're actually not round. They're rectangular behind there. They're self-leveling, moving projector, HID headlights. These lights up here are really just for looks. You have the turn signals here, and then these are considered the running lights. They don't actually project any light out. They're just really there to make you feel like they're the headlights, when in reality, this was the new technology. And I guess they felt that people wouldn't want the car with just these small circles here and wanted something a little bit more predominant to fill out this big area where this giant grille is. So I've ordered this lens, and the lens itself is going to be about $400, I think. You can take this apart and remove the lens and replace it without having to replace the entire light. So we're going to get that fixed in a future video. All right, we'll talk about the wrap that's on this car. As I mentioned before, the car is actually silver, but it's been wrapped white and black. This is actually a popular color scheme that I've seen on a lot of modern Rolls Royces. And what I've noticed about the new Phantom 8 which is the newer version of this. Really, the only thing they really changed on the outside of the car was just this front panel here, because this wraps around, and they've just changed the headlight configuration a little bit on this car, or on the Phantom 8 from this car. So that's why I said the car ages really well. It's kind of timeless. Certain things are timeless and regal. And I've noticed driving it around for the last week, I've been driving this car a lot. People treat you very differently. They treat you like nobility. When you pull up to the valet, they don't go park it in the garage. They park it right up front, right there at the valet stand. We went to a nice restaurant. I valeted it, same thing. They left it right where I put it. They wanted it out front so everybody could see the magnificent Rolls Royce, the noble people that are eating at their restaurant. So you definitely get treated a little bit better. When you're driving down the road, people get out of your way. They figure whoever's coming must be really important. When you put on your blinker, people let you in. It's crazy. I've definitely noticed that you are treated different. You are treated better when you're driving a Rolls Royce. I have quite the collection of cars. You can see behind me over there, there's a Delorean that we're working on. For those of you that are new to the channel, we specialize in building replicas of the Delorean time machine. We built over 28 of them. We're doing our 29th one next. We also do the Blues Brothers car, which is what that is. We do the A-Team. We do Ghostbusters, Knight Rider. So if you're new to the channel, go back and look at some of my other videos. I've been doing videos on here since 2007, and you probably will find something that you really like. Another really cool thing I noticed about this car, I don't know if it's cool or not, a different thing, is that, well, there's no visible exhaust on this car. You don't see any tailpipes or anything coming out of the back. And you also don't hear it running when it is running. I mean, it could be running right now and you wouldn't even know. This thing is so quiet. The engine is, first of all, so far away, almost 20 feet away from me up front. But when it's running through both, catalytic converters and then 2 sets of mufflers, and then all sorts of soundproofing. These things are designed to be super, super quiet. And I got to tell you, when you're driving on the inside of this thing, it's a whole different. Sometimes I wonder if it's running. I have to check to make sure that the needle says that my power reserve is 100%. Otherwise, I can't even tell if it's on or not. Well, I think we've pretty much covered the outside of this car. I think it's time that we go back inside and talk about some of the other really cool features that I've discovered about this 2004 Rolls Royce Phantom. Let's hop inside. And let's talk about the Starry Night headliner. Now, some people think that it's kind of cheesy and flashy, but I really like it, and I think it complements the interior. It's a $15,000 option in most Rolls Royces, and this one came with it already, and well, I think it's great. Let's talk about some of the other cool things that I have discovered about this car. All right, we're going to return back to this infotainment system. Now, I still haven't fixed my clock. I need to fix my clock, and I've been trying to figure out how to get the radio out. I think that there's 2 bolts on the back and the thing slides out from the front, but I haven't got to that yet. But we talked about the Idrive system. Now, this is used in BMWs, and, I hate it. Also, I've noticed that it doesn't seem to be saving the settings, and also the screen isn't very bright. Now, this is 2004 technology. There's a little DVD player under the passenger seat back there where the map is supposed to go, and it's missing the disc, although the screen seems to be working and having the basic maps. I figured out a few things about this, and I want to show you some really interesting things that I discovered here. You can go into this setting. It just has a P and a fan. But I found in the manual, I did buy the Rolls Royce Phantom manual, although what I realized is each manual is made for each bespoke car. So the manual I got doesn't go to this exact car, but a lot of the things are pretty much the same. Anyway, it has a thing called independent ventilation and has switching times. And I didn't know what this was. I was looking at this. It says switching time 1, set switching time 2. So what this car does, it's amazing. Now, there are 2 batteries on the subfloor of the trunk. One for the car functions and one for the cabin functions. And this is a cabin function. So basically, you can set a timer for when you want the fans to come on
and they will periodically come on, just not the air conditioning or the heat, but the blower fan, and recirculate the air and get the hot air out and keep it from getting musty. So a lot of owners store their cars for a long time, and this is a way that you can set this little timing system here, and it will, you can go in and set the time, so you can have it come on at like midnight, and it'll run for like a half an hour and recirculate the air and keep things fresh. In this setting, you can go in and adjust the seat heater settings, and I don't really understand what the point of this is, because it says left and right, and you select it, and it doesn't do anything. Maybe I have to turn it on first. I'll turn my seat heater on, and now, okay, so I've turned my seat heater on. Now I can access, oh, do you see what's happening here? When I can increase whether or not I want, ooh, look at that. I can increase either the heating of the bottom or the top. That's really interesting. So once you've turned on your seat heater, which is the little button over here to the side, so the one over here for that seat, I could turn that on, and let's see, go to right, and now I can adjust exactly what I want to do on that seat. That's interesting. That's really interesting. I'm going to turn that off. Oh, wait, you have to hit it a couple of times. There we go. So there's something that's interesting that I found. Then you have, and what's also weird is it has a feedback, a magnetic controlled haptic feedback. So, you know, depending on what thing you're in, like you'll feel the knob click as you rotate between these, and then when you get to the end of a section, it forces you where you can't turn it. Now this thing spins freely, but you would think that there's actually something in there stopping it from moving. It's pretty interesting.
Rolls Royce? I was way off. All right, I got this other weird thing happening with just the driver's side passenger door window. The switch, well, when you press it down, the window goes down. That's pretty normal. But when you pull it back up, the window goes down. Down, down. Down, down, down. Problem. The weird thing is, when I use the driver's controls, well, the window comes back up again. I thought maybe the switch itself was bad, so I pulled the switch off the other door, swapped out the physical switch, didn't make a difference. So clearly there's some sort of computer-controlled module in here that controls the operation of the regulator. Now, this switch over here and this controller seems to operate it just fine. Now, somebody had mentioned to me that there's an auto function that I should roll the window down to the bottom and then hold the down button for about 5 seconds. And I don't know if I need to do this when I first start the car, if that matters. And then see if it'll roll up. All right, that didn't work. So let me roll up the window. And try holding the up button. Oh, it goes down again. This is the problem with that concept, because every time I hold that button, the window goes down. That's the only real major problem that I found with basically the whole car, because these other windows all seem to work just fine. So if the passenger's back there and they roll the window down, they're going to have me roll it back up for them. So I'm working on that. If you happen to know anything about Rolls Royces, BMWs, and these type of window controllers, please post in the comments what information you find on how I should fix this, because I'm trying to get some help from some of the Rolls Royce guys out there, and they're helping me quite a bit. Also, talking about the interior wood, it's been mentioned by some other people in the comments that this is called bird's eye maple. It's a real valuable type of veneer. It's really good woodwork. And also, I wanted to correct myself. You know, now this, of course, is the glove compartment. You open this up. You can lock this if you like. And I keep my gray Poupon in there, of course. And it has like a suede leather cover in there. It seems like the headliner in that seems to be coming down. And, of course, the controls for your Spirit of Ecstasy, your clock time controls, locking the trunk, things like that. And I was calling this lower section a glove compartment, but it really is just an access door. And I need to, there we go. And I had some paperwork in here, which I really shouldn't even have, because
and this is a mocked up wire. We'll talk about that in just a second. But really, it's not made to hold anything at all. It's just access for the DVD player, or the, not the DVD player, the, what do you call that? The CD changer. I forgot what it's called because no one uses one anymore. CD changer and the fuse box access. You can't really hold anything in there. Now the little wire is rigged up. So basically, the previous owner hooked up an iPod adapter, hooked up from the output that would normally be coming from the CD changer into the radio. So when I switch it over to CD changer, I can then play an iPhone or an iPod using that wire. Okay, back here in the trunk of your Phantom, you have this little access panel, of which you will find fuse box, and also this little, I've already taken the cap off, but there's a little charging port here. You know, Rolls-Royce knows that their owners don't always drive their cars every day, and they may want to plug them in to charge them. Now, if you buy the Rolls-Royce charger that goes to this, it's about $1,000, which is ridiculous because it's just a battery tender, which should be 50 bucks. But I found these guys, they're called C-Tech, and they make this, you know, really nice charger, and I could put a link to these guys. But what these guys do, now not necessarily C-Tech themselves, but there's this other third party, and what they do is they adapt this, whatever this type of connector is, and I believe it says on there, it's a whatever, I can't read that, I need my glasses. But if anybody knows what this is and where you get them, but what they're doing is they're just adapting that to their C-Tech charger so that you can plug it in. And the great thing about it, let me see, doing this with the camera, okay, and then you can plug it in and charge. This thing is only about 150 bucks, which was still, in my opinion, kind of a lot of money for a trickle charger, which you could get a battery tender for 50 bucks. Comes with these kind as well, and also the kind you wire in, but they already have this port. Now, something else you may or may not know about your Phantom, or the Phantom, they have a battery on-off switch. Now, it doesn't cut all power, but it cuts a lot of the extra draining power so that you can kind of store the vehicle. Because a lot of people, they don't drive these cars that often. They park them and they want to keep them charged. But this little charger rig here, I picked one up for the times that I'm not going to be driving it and just going to plug it in and let it charge. I thought I would share that with you. But this is also one of the secondary fuse panels. And it's weird because like half of the car is on this side and half of it's in the glove compartment. Like literally, like one of the powered doors is on one side, one of the powered doors is in the front. And we'll venture into this a little bit more, but very well made, nice little door there.
I don't think it's flashy at all. I think it's tasteful.
$1,107. Yes, this is what it would cost to replace this mirror that was inside the Rolls Royce. I'm sitting at my desk, and the mirror was blacked out. It had this black LCD stuff, this liquid, looked like black ink that was all over the mirror. And well, basically, I took the thing out of the car. I pried the two pieces of glass apart, and there was this black ink run all over the place, whatever this liquid crystal, it was liquid crystal from the display. And the way this thing's designed to work is, you know, the electronics of the mirror would sense light and then energize the liquid crystal and make it turn black, and it had failed. And apparently, you know, this probably happens on a lot of cars that use these mirrors, and this mirror is basically the same as one in a BMW because the Rolls Royce is a BMW. And I just wanted to share this because I was sitting here working on the car and I thought, you know, maybe I'll share this. So this mirror was completely gooed. It was just like this. It looked like that. And I used some Goof Off, which is basically acetone, and Windex, and I cleaned it, and now it's perfectly clean. I'm going to try to put it back in the car. Now, if that doesn't work, I may have to still replace the mirror. Now, of course, the auto dimming feature isn't going to work, but that doesn't matter to me because the back window of the Rolls is so blacked out, it doesn't matter. But anyway, I just thought I would share this. This is the inside of the controller for the home link button that would be the garage door button. On the BMW versions, there's a red dome that comes out of here that is probably for the light sensing or some other thing. But here's the inside of the Rolls Royce mirror, and it's basically a BMW mirror. It has the same BMW mount. The way it comes off, if you ever need to remove it, is I believe it twists this way and then comes off. So it just twists off the mount. You unplug it, and it was really easy to get off. It only took a few seconds and no tools. I used a knife to pry this open, which is dangerous, but it worked. And I expect it to be glued, but it's actually just snapped together. I'm gonna throw this piece of glass away, and I'm just gonna stick this in there, and it may not fit exactly because now I've removed about an 1/8 inch of glass from the thing, so I may end up having to put a little double-sided tape or some kind of other thing in there, and we'll see how it works. But I just thought I'd share this and tag it onto the video. Okay, so here's the mirror back up and working. Hi. And really the hardest thing was putting the stupid plastic thing back on there. That thing was really hard to get back on, but you can see the mirror is completely working, and that really worked, really fixed it. And I wanted to point this out to you too. There's a cool little feature that I figured out. Check this out. There's like a little middle visor here that goes so that it just blocks that one little area there. Pretty neat. I thought that was kind of cool. It kind of, and it just, I don't know, it's really cool. Rolls Royces are cool.
I also want to give an unsolicited plug to Chemical Guys. Not affiliated with them. They're not paying me for this, although this is an attempt to get them to start sponsoring my videos. Because I go to Detail Garage, and I think I spend $200 or $300 every time I go in there. And they sell some fantastic stuff. And I've got some special cleaners that are made just for wraps and for wheels. I've been using their stuff exclusively, and I am in love with this. This is called their leather scent. Now, the thing about leather is, the reason leather smells the way it does is because of the processing that they do, the tannins that are processed in the leather, and it has that scent. And they sell this at their website and also at Detail Garage, but I've also been seeing it at Walmart, at least locally here. And this stuff is magic. It's an odor eliminator, air freshener, but it's leather scented. Now what I do is I spritz this throughout the car often and just spray it on the carpets. And when people open the door, the first thing they always comment on is they go, wow, the leather in there smells so fantastic. It's this. If you have a car with leather in it, put this in there. Like I said, this is an unsolicited, commercial for them. But the reason I'm mentioning it is because when you have a car like this, there's certain things about the car that are really accentuated. Like you have the wood dash and then all the soft, supple leather that's all over the car. But the leather wouldn't really have that much of a smell. But putting a few spritz of this in there, and when people open up the car, they catch a whiff of that, and it just punches them in the face. And every single person that I've showed the car to, whenever they open the thing up, they comment about it. So Chemical Guys, please send me free stuff. Email me. I would like to do some reviews of some of your other products because I've learned so much about how to wash a car. And it's really important, these things, because I've been washing this thing every single day almost because, well, it's a white car, a black car. And in Texas, it's never nice. It's always windy, or it's raining, or it's too hot, or it's too cold, or it's something. And I have to wash this thing virtually every day. And I've learned how to take care of what they call the bright work, the polished stainless steel, and how to wash a car properly. My Cadillac CTS-V that I mentioned before, we'll be doing a video on that real soon. I've done so much damage to that car because I did the most unthinkable thing. I used to drive it through the drive-through car wash. Don't ever do that. Never drive your car through a drive-through car wash. But I learned the proper way to wash a car, and there's so many videos out there that'll teach you how to do it, especially with Chemical Guys, and they've taught me so much. And I've learned how to repair the paint on my cars and how to take care of this thing. And I can't thank them enough because, wow, what a company. They have some amazing products. And this stuff, I'm spraying it in all my cars. I love it. By the way, if you don't have leather in your car, don't spray this in your car, dummy. You're not fooling anybody. And I don't think they have crappy vinyl seat spray. They only have leather scent. All right, guys, I think that's enough for the Rolls Royce Phantom today. Love that. But since I have so many new viewers because of some of the videos I've been putting up, I'd like to give you a quick little tour of my shop so that you understand what it is that I do, because there's so many people commenting and wondering, what the hell does this guy do for a living? And I want to show you a quick tour just around my shop so that you can see the kind of stuff that we do. All right, yes, this is my Prevost tour bus. I drive this around the country when we're touring the cars. And, you know, I used to drive for Vinnie Paul from Pantera. I used to drive his tour bus. And that's my bus that I travel in case you were wondering why there's a bus here. That red car over there, yes, that is the screen-used Kipped car from Knight Rider 2000, the movie, where we're working on restoring that. That is the RoboCop OCP police car, actually driven by Peter Weller, RoboCop, and he signed it for us. And it's just a van and a trailer. That's my pickup truck, painted in the A-Team colors. It's a Dodge Monaco that we're working on later. That's a DeLorean. We'll go inside the shop. All kinds of cool stuff just piled up in here. We build movie props. I'll take you into the cast room here where we do plastics. And we're working on a flux capacitor right there. And, you know, we also do these Ghostbusters proton packs. Here's a few of those in production. You know, just all kinds of neat stuff going on in here. It's kind of a mess, but hey, it's a working shop. Come in here and look at there. We got a flying DeLorean. This is a DeLorean that we're building, a time machine. This is going to a customer in Italy. This is about the 28th one of these that we built. You can get a good look at how it's filthy, but you know, it's in production. So there's all kinds of things going on here. We got EJ over here, one of our techs, and he's working on the car, doing some Doc Brown kind of stuff. We have a bunch of crazy, all kinds of props and things that we have. They're used in all kinds of things. And of course, you know, we have cameras up in here. You can watch us online on Bob's Prop Shop Live. I could post a link to that and you could watch us working. This is just a kind of a junk room we have. You know, if you saw Ghostbusters 2016, the reboot, I'm in that movie. You'll see me in it. And these are some of the actual mannequins from the scene where she says, oh, yeah, room full of nightmares. I took some of those home with me. There's one of my 2 Cadillac CTSV wagons. The other one's at the body shop getting paint correction done on it. This is my extra one. I got a bunch of Trans Ams. I have kind of a Trans Am fetish. There's a bunch of them all over the place. This one is one with a custom LS1 that's being turned into a Knight Rider. And this is another Knight Rider car that's covered up. And that's my 63 Cadillac. So I can't show it to you right now because it's all wrapped up. But you'll see those in some future videos. Oh my God, there's a ghost! And speaking of Ghostbusters, here's my Ghostbusters Ecto-1 store in here. And there's our other time machine. Parked right underneath another DeLorean. That's going to be DeLorean time machine number 29. That one's coming up next. This is my personal car that we use for, you know, special appearances and things. Go back to my other videos. You can see lots of videos of this car all over the place. And this is a van that we're building for a customer that is a big fan of Cheech and Chong. And this is going to be the Yeska van made out of weed. It's got 1955 Cadillac fenders. They're there in the back that have to be grafted on the side. That's coming up next. So stay tuned. We have a lot of cool videos that are coming up next. This old van we're thinking about turning into maybe a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle van or maybe another Scooby van or something like that. Here is a 1959 Cadillac Miller Meteor. This is the original car that's, you know, used for the Ghostbusters. And, you know, it looks like a heap right now, but we're going to be working on this very soon. I've got a whole bunch of these hearses all just piled up. No, you can't buy one. Don't ask. Not until it's finished anyway. But this is a car that I'm working on. This is a parts car for that other car that's out there. And this is the kind of crazy stuff we do. Well, it's locked up in our fence back there, but you can see a little bit of our old Scooby van back there. I'll put that in another video. You can see in one of my previous videos, that thing got hit by a diesel truck in the back, and we got to fix it. So it's in storage behind our building, and we'll work on it later. Well, Tyler Hoovey just posted a video talking about how he was a bad influence on his friends because he's got too many of his buddies that are just buying too much junk. Well, I have this field next to my building. We have too much junk. Don't ask me why we have school buses and checkers. That's a Clark Cortez. That's a rare little RV it's made. That's a Corvair wagon on our wedge truck that we have. And just a bunch of junky project cars.
That's my 82 Checker. Got hit in the back. We've got a Bradley GT body over there. Here's a 63 Cadillac that's been bagged and dropped. We were thinking about doing a Ghostbuster car out of, but we just gave up on it. This is a early Chevy van that we're thinking about maybe making a Scooby out of. Another Trans Am, imagine that. Check this out. You've never seen one of these before. This is a Pinto pickup truck. That's custom made. This was my mom's Cadillac, but got totaled. Sorry. And then this is just a bunch of junk. All right, I hope you enjoyed this particular video. I know this one went way off the charts. I'm sorry for teasing you with all the crazy outfits, but I just couldn't help myself. People just kept asking me about my crazy red and black Robbins jeans in the last video. Big deal. Some crazy pants I picked up out in LA. I like to wear, cool clothes. I like to drive cool cars. I'm the kind of guy that, I don't drive around in a regular car. I like to drive around in a Delorean time machine or a Ghostbusters car or maybe a Rolls Royce Phantom. I'm just that kind of guy, and I like to do crazy things, and I've always lived my life that way. I'm in 2 cover bands. I'm in a Judas Priest tribute called Turbo Lover, and I have another band called Videobob and the Radio Stars, and that's why I have all those crazy jackets, because I go up on stage and I change outfits just about every song. It's a lot of fun. We do a lot of new wave 80s British rock, things like that, and it's just a lot of fun. My passion has always been crazy cars, building these cars. I had my own reality show called Screen Machines that was on the Reels channel. Around the rest of the world, it's on Discovery Turbo, D-Max, depending on where you live. And I've been doing this stuff for a long time. I'm coming up on 45 years old now. Jesus, it's windy out here. Sorry about that. And my YouTube channel is just really taken off right about now for some reason. And I think that this is the year of YouTube. I watch more YouTube than I do anything else, and a lot of people do too. So I'm glad that you joined me, and I'm glad that you subscribed. And there's going to be a whole bunch more really cool stuff coming up. And as far as that Rolls Royce is concerned, if you came here because of that car, we're going to be upgrading the navigational system. We may or may not be unwrapping it, rewrapping it. I don't know. I'm not sure if we're going to keep those wheels or not. A lot of people have made a lot of different suggestions about it. It's kind of growing on me. I kind of like it the way it is. But please post your comments below, and trolls beware, you'll be deleted. So I don't like hate in my life. I just follow the good stuff, and I recommend you do that too. Follow your dreams and just follow the good stuff. Forget the haters. Hey, I'm Videobob. Thanks for watching. One of the other repairs that I did make, other than the umbrella, is I did get this little trim ring here.